Happy Squirrel Appreciation Day.
That's right.
Appreciate your squirrels.
I don't know, like, what's that mean? Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what's happening in my house tonight.
It's also Cat Appreciation Day, apparently.
Yeah.
Whether you do or not.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Yeah.
So nothing happened in the last week, right?
No. Not a thing. Quick program note.
Yeah.
Our locals page has 30 something.
Okay. 30 something. That's a third of the way of being able to do stuff.
Yeah, I lost I had the number up and then I did something. Oh, there it is.
You said
31.
31. So we need 69.
Oh, Jay. Okay.
Yeah, so there's like 300 people in the Facebook group. So we need 100 people on locals.
While we're on the topic, I kind of want to go through this.
Okay.
The different social medias that we're on now.
Excellent.
Are all kind of different.
Yes, they are.
So we have Facebook, obviously, and we have YouTube.
Right.
And we're also on MeWe, which is kind of Facebook-esque, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like
mostly.
the way you can post on your personal thing, and then you can also post on your page or your group.
MeWe's like the generic Facebook. It's like the store brand Facebook.
Yeah. I kind of like it though, in a way. Like
when you were a kid and you couldn't quite afford the name brand stuff, you got
it's like what Facebook was back around 2010, 2009, 2010.
Right.
Sort of stupid and dumb. And
I don't know if it's like Facebook in that you can like have photo albums and the whole that sort of thing. I think it's just more for posting.
Yeah, it really is.
And then we're on locals, which to me seems a little bit. And as you said, we need 100 people so that we can post videos directly instead of going through YouTube, right?
Right.
Okay, but locals to me seems. I was looking at it yesterday, and I like it, and I like the kind of formatting of it and how it works, but it seems more to me that it's more useful for groups only and not so I mean, if I wanted my own locals page, as in the same way I have a Facebook page, I would need to create like a Brita group or something, which I'm not real comfortable with. I'm not that famous.
Well, that's what locals was designed for. It was
just groups and things. Yeah,
exactly right. It was designed to replace the page, the Facebook page, the Facebook group, things like that are monetized by Facebook. So if you had a Facebook page and you monetized it and you get ad revenue, and then Facebook kicks you off, you're screwed.
Yeah.
But locals is designed. Now we do not take money, and I will probably never take money because we don't need it.
How much do we make off of t-shirts?
Almost nothing. It's still sitting on the Teespring site. It's $20, $30. I don't know, but it's more of a pain in the ass.
I just had an idea.
It's more of a pain in the ass to get the money than it is to just let it sit there and fester. Because
we need to do a Squirrel Bernie meme t-shirt.
Yes.
That would be great.
By the way, I cannot blink this entire video.
Why?
Because every time there's a screenshot, I'm like, I look like Mole Man. I'm like, hold on. Does Jay ever open his eyes? Well,
you'd be like what's his name in Clockwork Orange with your eyes.
I'm a hoopy frood.
Yeah.
I think that's
but yeah, locals was designed by Dave Rubin and some other people as a Distributed. It's distributed. It's not a single server. It's got servers all over the country, all over the world.
Right.
And it's designed so basically, unless you're doing something that is definitely illegal
Mm-hmm.
by law, you're not going to get kicked off, and you're not going to be demonetized just because they don't like it. That's the theory. Who knows? You know?
Okay. And we also have Telegram, which I haven't even looked at, so I don't know
Right.
what that is. Is that more like Twitter, or?
It's kind of like Twitter, but for groups, sort of. It's mostly,
Okay.
I mostly see groups. I mean, there are people, you can have an individual Telegram
Mhm.
thing, but I really only see groups on it. People, there's all kinds of groups, and you can charge money to be in the group. You can have memberships. Again, we're not.
Right.
But the interesting thing about Telegram is it's owned by a Russian. So, it's completely
Russia.
Well,
Oh,
it's for whatever good or bad, it's completely immune to the vagaries of American politics, because the Russian doesn't give a fuck about American politics.
Right.
They can bitch and complain and go, "Hey, this guy's bad. He needs to get deplatformed," and the Russian will go, "Yet."
We're also on Rumble, which is kind of like the alternative YouTube, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Are you posting our videos over there?
Yes,
Oh,
I am.
good. Okay.
Rumble is weird, and I'm not entirely sure I like it, but
Okay.
it is a YouTube alternative. The idea, the idea of all of these is we may not currently participate in them as much as we do the Facebook group, but if we wind up getting kicked off of Facebook, we'll have another thing that we can go to. So, don't expect a whole lot of activity necessarily on locals. Don't expect a whole lot of activity on Rumble. Don't expect, we may or may, whatever. It's going to be what it is, but it'll be there if we need it.
What do you think? In my opinion, it's kind of like I'm thinking, what are people more likely to transfer to? Like, if they're not on Facebook, would they join MeWe, or would they join locals? Or like, if people are, migrating off of Facebook, where do you think they're more likely to go?
Well, if they're looking for Facebook functionality, probably MeWe.
Yeah,
MeWe.
I agree.
Yeah.
But if they're looking to follow us, the show, maybe locals.
I don't know. We have a good page on MeWe.
We do have a good page on MeWe. I've been haphazard about posting links to our stuff on MeWe because I honestly just forget.
I kind of feel like I wish there was a thing where I could just cross post across apps, but that kind of defeats the purpose, really.
Yeah, I find myself having to make a conscious effort to go to MeWe, whereas Facebook is, I have to be on Facebook for the day job. So
yes.
Yeah, but the sad thing is I really want to get rid of Facebook.
Same.
I want to get off. Facebook is evil.
If I didn't have to be on it, I'd be gone.
Facebook is really, really bad. It is evil. And what it does to people is evil.
It's all social media. If we're being fair, just social media. Period.
I think, but here's the thing, and this may apply to MeWe and other things. They don't do it yet because they can't, because they don't matter enough. But Facebook actively A/B tests and controls your mind. By what they show you and what they allow you to see and what you see on the platform,
right?
They're controlling your brain space. They're not just what you want from Facebook is to see what your friend posts. And you want to see the cat video they post, or the vacation video, or the picture from the stupid picture. That's what you want to see on Facebook. That is not what Facebook shows you at all. Facebook picks and choose, what they show you. And, I see stuff like the they have that show me first option. where you
That
can
doesn't work.
Yeah.
I have people
Yeah.
that I have like show me first, and I see something like from a week ago, and it's the first time I've ever seen it.
Right.
And so yeah, and Google is just as bad. When you do, if you do a Google search and a Go search next to each other, what you get is radically different depending on the subject. I mean, if it's in any way political or social or anything like that, or has any sort of controversy whatsoever, the differences are startling.
Yeah.
So, I would love to dump Facebook. I think a lot of other people would too. I think what we're going to see in 2021 is a concerted effort by the nerds to diversify off of social media platforms. Now, a lot of it's going to be people that got kicked off, like Rumble.
Yeah.
Not Rumble. Who was it? Parlor.
Oh, that was another way. Does Parlor exist now, or is it
Not well, they have a page, but it's a static page.
Oh.
So you can
I guess I can delete that app.
You can go to Parlor. Well, I wouldn't yet, because if you delete it, you're never going to get it again, because
okay.
Right.
It got removed from the store. So if you go to the app tells you there's some network error or something like that. But it's because the Parlor's their back end's not working. So they've got a domain. The domain redirects to a server that serves a static page, and there's some information on it from the CEO or whatever. But I don't know. They're on life support. They sued Amazon. The first judge, who was a Clinton appointee and a virulent anti-Trumper, denied their request for an immediate injunction.
So there's no evidence,
because in her words, there was no, what was it? No. Anyway, she didn't think they had a case. Just ignore the evidence. You don't have a case.
Hey,
so
work for the vote fraud.
So this was
Sure.
one judge off the Ninth Circuit Court. So it'll go to a panel, and then it'll get appealed to the full court, and then it'll get appealed to the Supreme Court. I mean, this is not. But the thing is, Parlor's days are numbered, right? So the longer this drags on, the odds of them going back on, what they really wanted was to get turned back on AWS immediately, so they could have some life while they move to other servers.
Right.
What they're having to do instead is try to spin up something else somewhere else, and hope it works, and hope there's still a growing thing that people want to join a month or two later when they finally get working. Who knows? The other one is Gab, but Gab's got huge problems. Millions of people have tried signing up for Gab. They don't work most of the time. When you go to Gab, it's slow as hell. It doesn't work half the time. There are no apps for Gab because Gab also got kicked off of Google and Apple stores. So the only way you can go to Gab is on the web. Hey, it's golf. The only way you can go to Gab is on a web page, which, that's not how people do things on the interwebs these days.
Right.
Mail yourself back to 2003.
Right. They want an app. People want an app. And that brings up a huge problem with iPhones and Android, because if your app doesn't exist in those stores, you're out of luck. They're the a huge, and this has been going on for a while, but I think the Parlor thing made it really abundant.
And I'll go back to my, original hypothesis that they think the left is going to be in power indefinitely, because this is exactly the kind of stuff that RICO was meant to combat. Because
Absolutely. Yeah.
Apple and Android colluded to kick this off of the respective stores. There's active collusion between the two giants, to keep a competitor to one of their subsidiaries from reaching distribution.
Yeah.
Right.
That's exactly what the whole racketeering what that was intended to combat was the big guys. If McDonald's and Burger King got together and said, we're going to make sure every other burger joint gets put out of business.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what happens. You can't do that.
Well, it's also it's not just RICO, but it's antitrust also. So,
well, it's when you know clearly there was cooperation between the two because it disappeared at the same instant.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but you know, what do I know?
The thing is, the government brings the suit. It doesn't matter if it's right, if it's wrong, if you can prove it or not. Right. Once the government brings the suit, you're fighting against a limitless budget.
Well, they're not going to bring a suit as long as the Democrats are in charge.
Bingo.
So, you know,
so they're banking that.
At this point, if I was Parler, I would keep pursuing the legal aspects because you might get some monetary award out of them for breach of contract and triple damages and all that kind of fun stuff. But I would not bet on them getting turned back on AWS at all.
Unless they can talk to Ghislaine Maxwell and get some dirt. We forgot that name pretty quick, didn't we?
I'm not even sure that would work.
Hey, she's still alive?
So they say.
I don't know.
Haven't seen her in a while.
When they thought they could use that against Republicans, it was all front page news. And as soon as it came out that every single person was a Democrat, they were like, ooh, we're just going to let Epstein kill himself. Ha, ha, ha.
Crazy, man. You want to talk about the inauguration?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say this again. The only good thing that came out of the inauguration is the Bernie Sanders memes.
Yes.
I've seen Bernie Sanders like in the throne from Game of Thrones. I've seen him like everywhere. It's awesome. It's like Where's Waldo, but super good.
Between Walter and the dude from Big Lebowski.
Yes, good.
Waiting in line for concert tickets. It's everywhere.
Heck, he's on my front yard.
Yeah, there's a website and some dude created this thing where if you put in any address in the world, because it does Google Maps, it uses Google Maps, you can put Bernie Sanders at that address. So
he looks so cold. You can tell the house they bought him this time is somewhere in like Tahiti. He's like, my 5th vacation home is going to be.
I kind of felt Bernie Sanders in that moment. Like he looks like a Clevelander in the winter, with the mittens and the coat and the.
Do you know what he looked like?
What?
The movie Grumpy Old Men.
Oh, he does.
Put it between Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. Boom! It's Grumpy Old Men 3.
Yeah. Perfect. Oh my God!
Of course, they're both dead, but
Yeah.
They could do a deep fake.
The inauguration, I mean, it is what it is, what can they do in the COVID times, right? They have this weird socially distanced thing, except there's 25,000,
they're
troops
guns
in
walls,
DC,
which they told us they don't like.
Yeah, right. Suddenly walls work. Amazing.
So I have a few observations about the.
Oh, do tell.
First off, there were more troops in DC than all of the Middle East.
Yes.
I mean, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah.
Over Buffalo guy.
Right.
That's what they're protecting is Buffalo.
Yeah, and come. I mean, seriously, that was not an insurrection. That was not even.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know. It was barely a riot. I mean, the only thing that makes it a riot is they knocked over the barricades.
Yeah, they broke windows,
and some people got hurt. Somebody died. I mean,
they didn't set the place on fire.
They did set the place on fire. They didn't pull any statues over. They didn't destroy anything, any artwork.
There's even video. There's even video of a dude sitting. Where was he? Like in the Senate or somewhere. And a security guy comes in and he's like, "Can I ask you to leave?" And blah blah blah. And it's all very civil and the one guy, the protester guy, he's like, oh, don't worry, I'm making sure they don't wreck the place. It's all very like, oh, okay, this is an insurrection for sure.
We never thought we'd actually get here, so we don't know what to do.
Yeah, we're gonna take selfies. We're gonna sit
a lot of the people that went into the Capitol building just were people that went along with the flow and didn't realize they weren't supposed to be there. The door was open, people were going in. It was
strange, right? The door was opened for them. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but the whole thing just seemed very odd.
The funny part is the night of the inauguration, several cities were on fire thanks to Antifa. Remember the idea, according to Joe Biden, the idea, they
don't actually exist.
And there weren't, 25,000 National Guard troops who were vetted for such horrible right-wing affiliations as the Patriot Guard Riders, the guys who ensure that our military heroes who have died in combat get a proper reception on their way to their final resting place.
Mm-hmm.
These guys, these motorcyclists donate their time and their money so that our soldiers can have peace and quiet on their way to whether it's Arlington or their hometown cemeteries. And that's considered a reason to disqualify someone for right-wing militia activity.
Well, clearly, Jay.
Which is like, what were the criteria? Oh my God, the word patriot. Oh no.
Well, you know what the criteria was. Unless you're a leftist or a Democrat or voted for Biden, you're obviously suspect. You know, in the words of the new administration, if you voted for Trump, you're a domestic terrorist.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're up for re-education, according to a whole more of them than they want to admit.
Yeah.
What is the word they keep throwing around? Not re-education. It's like
purged.
Well, it's cleansed.
Oh yeah.
It's all really creepy. Yeah. It's really creepy. And, I just want to say to all of these people who are talking this way, it's like, do you hear yourselves? These are usually people who call for censoring the other side and sending the other side to re-education. I mean, these are not the good guys.
Yeah.
Like, are you sure?
Are we the baddies?
We have handcuffs for babies?
Right. It's like, have you read a history book ever?
Yeah. But during the inauguration, I thought it was interesting because you saw these videos of the soldiers like facing away from the motorcade. And even, they had the COVID spacing for the people there.
Right.
And even with all that space, they still had empty seats.
Well, that's COVID related, Alan. Just like all of his rallies were COVID related. Even the rallies with cars.
How many
there were only 3 cars was COVID.
How many hundreds of thousands of people showed up for the Trump rally?
Yeah.
How much you want to bet how many people would have showed up for a Trump inauguration?
Oh my God. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I saw the rallies. I mean, they had the rallies, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen this yet.
Oh boy.
Probably not. So regarding the troops in the Capitol, right?
Yeah.
And they were all there for the inauguration and keeping Biden safe from the rest of us, I guess. 24 hours after the inauguration, the troops in the Capitol were kicked out and sent to parking garages with one outlet and porta potties.
Oh.
They served their usefulness.
Wow.
Sleeping.
Wow.
In parking garages. Yes.
Damn.
They didn't even get to sleep in buildings anymore on the floor. They had to go to parking garage. Well,
parking garage.
Again, they'd been purged for wrong things. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
And I'm sure all these Democrats will say, thank you so much for your service.
Nothing says, highest vote total in American history like empty streets and 25,000 armed troops.
Right.
You're so popular that you need that you need more soldiers than in the entire Middle East.
Well, the other thing that's
12-foot fences.
The other thing that's funny is they had all those soldiers and literally no one wanted to be there.
No.
It's the only way they could get any attendance. Bernie didn't want to be there. You could clearly see.
Poor Bernie.
Nobody wanted to be there.
Feeling for that old dumbass.
And and then you've got the the lights looked like his arms embracing the
we're back to the whole Obama era journalism, right?
The hero.
Are they posting photos of Biden with the halo yet?
Yes, they have.
Oh, well, okay, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think my favorite was your observation, Brita, where they were fawning over Dr. Jill Biden's outfit. You commented that we had an actual fashion model for 4 years.
Yes.
And all they could do is take little pot shots like, oh, she's wearing all white. Meanwhile, Hillary.
Oh, God.
You have to laugh because it's so ridiculous.
And if I hear one more time about how Kamala Harris wears Chuck Taylor sneakers, like, give me a damn break.
And black pearls, so all women should wear black pearls.
I have an update on the Vogue cover. Is it Vogue? I think it is Vogue, actually. Is it? Whatever. Anyway, last week I said how there was this big controversy about Kamala Harris was not happy with the Vogue cover, and how dare they pick the wrong photo, and she doesn't look good, and her skin tone's all wrong, and she doesn't look black enough, and whatever. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, Vogue has decided to put out a limited edition collector's issue of the the magazine with the correct photo that has passed, government inspection.
And as someone with a little bit of knowledge about magazines, that shit is expensive.
Doesn't matter.
So read into that what you will, folks.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. We have a new chocolate Jesus, and she's on Vogue.
Yeah. I want to know what it is about a certain kind of female Democrat and the objectification of her footwear. Remember the woman in Texas that was
with the sneakers. Wendy something?
Wendy Davis.
Yeah. Oh, and she also wore the bag so she didn't have to pee.
Right.
What is that bag called?
Catheter
bag. Something. The pee bag.
That's a different kind of bag.
That word you keep using. I do not think it means what you think it means.
But here we are again with a Democrat wearing sneakers, and suddenly it's like, ooh,
sneakers. She's of the people, right?
No, she's not. Oh my God.
First of all, Chuck Taylors are expensive now. Oddly. And but it's like when Hillary Clinton was it Hillary? I think it was, where she was carrying around a bottle of hot sauce in her purse.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that Hillary?
Yes, that was Hillary.
Yes, it was.
And it was supposed to make her like super relatable to Black people.
Right.
Okay. Right.
Chuck Taylors, is that supposed to make her relatable to people who grew up in the 80s?
I'm not sure.
I had Chuck Taylors when I was in high school.
I had them when I was in elementary school.
Alan had Chuck Taylors because they were the only sneakers available.
You are correct, Jay.
Yes. I'm not that far behind you, so I made the mistake of doing the Walk for Hunger in Chuck Taylors 20 miles through Boston is
They
not
are-
the place to be wearing Chuck Taylors.
Chuck
They're not
Taylors-
walking shoes.
They are not walking shoes.
No,
Nope.
no.
Although they say they're really good for weightlifting. I see a lot of people in the gym when I used to go to the gym
That's because they have. That's
a
because
year ago.
That's because the soles don't collapse.
Yeah, they
unevenly.
won't.
Well,
Because
that
they're
and also,
micron thick.
I mean, a lot of people lift weights barefoot because they, so
Right.
for you
They
people
don't-
with feet,
Well,
Shit.
because when you lift weights, because a lot of the modern shoes have those really cushy
yeah,
soles, and you don't want that when you lift weights because
right.
that's bad. So, I guess that's why Chuck Taylors are good for lifting weights because
Weightlifting tips with Alan.
that sole ain't gonna give.
No, I think
I lifted weights once. I slept at a Holiday Inn Express, and they had a weight room, so I know about weights.
And we've already stopped fracking and the Keystone Pipeline that even Justin Trudeau is in favor of.
Well, they
I
haven't stopped
know.
fracking. They're just not going to allow any more fracking leases on federal land. Not that they allowed that many to begin with.
Well, that's the interesting thing. There's going to be a mask mandate on federal property.
Right.
It's
Well,
the
that's
big
the only
proclamation.
place. That's the only place they can do a
Yeah.
mask mandate.
for now.
It's the big proclamation and then the fine print. It's
Right.
we're going to stop all fracking on federal land.
Yeah, that Keystone Pipeline is going to be problematic because they got this ideological bit in their teeth and like we're going to ban it. The problem is there's been a shitload of investment in that, and the people that invested in that are not going to go away quietly.
Yeah.
Canada is not going to go away quietly, so that's going to be a big mess. And I would not be surprised if the Biden administration wound up walking that back.
Celebrity death match. Justin Trudeau, Joe Biden. Get it on.
Biden's already dead. That's not even a contest.
Everyone who grew up in the 90s is going to get that reference. Come
Isn't-
on, guys, work with me.
Yeah.
However, Alan,
Jay.
you have some, economic background.
Yes.
Let's discuss Joe Biden's latest. We're going to make a federal minimum wage of $15 an hour. That's not going to have any unforeseen consequences, is it, by any chance at all?
The thing that amazes me is the idiots that are just, oh yeah, $15. Oh yeah, I need it. Oh yeah.
Well, they think the price of everything else is going to stay the same.
Bingo!
Well,
Doesn't.
actually, the price of everything will stay the same. There'll just be a whole shitload more unemployed people because they're going to get
Well,
replaced
true.
by kiosks and robots.
Mhm.
Except, Alan, how many unions tie their pay scale
Yeah,
to the
that's the
federal
thing.
minimum wage?
And
For example,
that's the key.
we hear teachers are terribly underpaid. Well,
Right.
the average salary for a teacher's starting salary is about $35,000 a year, which, okay, on its face is somewhat low.
Yeah, but for somebody with no skills, come on, that's a great salary.
Now, well, how many teachers and teachers unions
Mm.
are going to be okay with the starting salary for a teacher being $5,000 a year more than somebody flipping burgers at McDonald's?
Well, yeah.
Oh, that ain't going to fly. We're going to have to double their salaries.
Well,
What does that do to school budgets?
Yeah, not only that, but you're going to see the same wage inflation going on in the federal government too, because every federal employee,
Yep.
Right.
Now,
they're
with all
they're
of
gonna
those
look for the
people,
same-
yeah, and that's the whole thing. You start tying teacher salaries. Now, are all the administrators in the school going to say, hey, the teacher's pay just doubled? We're cool with that. Or are they going to freak the fuck out and go, wait a minute, we should be paid more. We can't
Sure,
make as much as a teacher. So now your tax bill just tripled because you got to pay for all that.
Yep.
Because they sell you the minimum wage as though it's the only reason those businesses don't pay more is because all the owners are the monopoly guy with a monocle and a top hat, swimming in sacks of gold like Scrooge McDuck. That's how they want you to think. That's the only thing stopping a minimum wage. And again, why $15 an hour? Why not $25 an hour? Why not $50?
$100 an hour.
$100 an
Why
hour.
not?
Everyone makes $100 grand a year, $200 grand a year. We're all fucking rich.
Why?
Wonderful.
Why, Jay? The government can print as much money as they want. Why can't everyone be a millionaire?
Exactly. We'll just print out $1 million bills and use wheelbarrows to buy bread.
Why can't everyone be a millionaire?
That can't possibly go horribly, horribly wrong.
Right.
We should all have multiple vacation homes like Bernie Sanders.
Well, actually, I'm not that concerned about the $15 federal minimum wage because number one, I don't think it'll ever happen because they still have to get it through the Senate,
which they control.
They control it by like one vote.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
They still control it, Alan.
Yeah.
But that's one vote. I think, there's enough. There are enough large companies that don't want to have to pay a $15 minimum wage that there will be a lot of pressure on the Senate.
Yeah.
I
think you're right. There'll be enough companies calling in their chips.
Walmart. You think Walmart wants a $15 an hour minimum wage? Jesus. No.
Okay. That's the thing that pisses me off so much about the minimum wage is it's not a living wage. No shit, Sherlock. It's not supposed to be a fucking living wage.
Right.
No, I know.
The people who make minimum wage are fucking teenagers just starting out. If you work anywhere for any length of time, you're not making minimum wage. They can't. My kids work. Okay. Right. My kids are teenagers. They've had multiple jobs here in the Northern Virginia area. Not a single fucking one paid the minimum wage. They all paid higher. Because they can't get anyone to work at the minimum wage.
Right.
Period. And that's the whole point.
Just dumb people who don't know any better.
Well,
they don't want those people.
Even at a fast food place, if you work at a fast food place for more than 3 months and you're still making minimum wage, the problem is you. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
If you're still making minimum wage after 3 months, you're going to get fired because you're useless.
Yeah,
they won't keep you.
You are a body,
right? But the other reason why minimum wage doesn't matter is because we're going to have the universal basic income.
Andrew Yang, thank you.
Oh, God,
we're going to have everybody getting a check, and it's going to be, put on my Swami hat. It's going to be what they call a central bank digital currency, CBDC. You're going to hear a lot of that in the coming years. China's already working on it. The Federal Reserve is going to trot it out, and they're going to use it. So the hot, cool thing with a central bank digital currency is everybody gets an account at the Fed. You get a ATM card from the Fed. And so right now, when the Federal Reserve, when they stimulate, right, the money goes to the banks. Well, guess what the banks do with it? They don't give it to anybody because everybody's a horrible credit risk. So the bank turns around and spends it on stocks and stuff like that. That's why the asset prices are going up. So what the Federal Reserve wants to be able to do is give everybody a Fed card, and the stimulus will be deposited directly into your card, but it'll come with caveats because it's digital currency. It'll be like, here's $300, but you can only spend it at a grocery store, and you have to spend it within 72 hours or it disappears. That's how it'll work. And they'll use that to adjust how people operate. So they'll be like, oh, you're a minority hairdresser or whatever. You get $2,000 extra dollars, and you're a white dude. We're going to take some back out of you. You're going to get less. And they're going to use this to fine tune social behavior, just like Facebook and Google use their platforms to fine tune social behavior. But the Fed's going to do it with cash. And you think people aren't going to change their behavior for cash?
Okay.
People still smoke, Alan.
And if you paid them not to,
You pay a shit ton more for health insurance, for life insurance, for all that stuff if you smoke.
Yeah, but that's not the Fed going, here's money,
So let's go back to the whole. Wait, I just go back to you get the money and you have to spend it within 72 hours.
Right.
Okay.
It's a stimulus thing.
Yeah, I get it.
That.
However, human beings being what they are, they'll buy things that they can use as currency.
So what?
No, I'm just saying that it'll become its own like its own.
You're not thinking like a Democrat. Democrats don't think beyond first order effects.
Yeah.
They don't think to second order effects. Trust me, they don't.
I disagree.
They will not. And honestly, it doesn't matter if somebody goes out and they take their $2,000 they have to spend within 72 hours, and they buy a truckload of Tide bottles and store it in their house.
Right.
The Fed doesn't care. You spent the money. That's all they care about. You spent the money. You injected the money into the economy, which the banks will not do.
Fair.
And if you go, maybe you don't spend it all on Tide. Maybe you buy some steaks and
lobster.
Yeah.
Lobster.
Maybe you go out to eat. Maybe you
assuming we're allowed to do that again.
Yeah, but they'll also have, you can spend it on this, but you can't spend it on that. So they're going to be able to, because it's a digital currency, they'll be able to tightly control where it can be spent and where it can't be spent. So, and what it can be spent on and what it can't be spent on. It's like when, you're ever behind somebody in the grocery store line and they got the EBT card and they got two piles of stuff. Right. One pile of stuff is what they can spend, what they can buy with the EBT card. And the other pile of stuff is everything they can't spend with EBT.
So angering for me.
But that's how it's going to work. It's going to be the same thing.
Okay. So nothing new, really. Just more. Just more.
Just
right?
more and no cash. So so
they don't use cash now. Are you kidding?
Yeah, but lots of people still use cash. Drug dealers. I mean, there's the black market economy runs on cash.
Okay.
I paid my sprinkler guy today with cash. So, people still use cash.
Alan,
I think I have a 20 in my wallet that has been there for 5 months.
But
I was going to say, I don't even know how much actual cash is in my wallet.
I think I have a 20 that has been there since.
But a lot of people, especially the poor people, still use cash because they don't have bank accounts. They get their paycheck or they get, whatever check they get, and they go cash it. They go to a check.
That explains something for me. Thank you.
And they cash it, and they don't have a bank account.
I keep on thinking that we have like all these like drug dealers coming in the library, which
you probably do.
Probably still true. However, there will be people that come in and they have like a wad of cash, and I'm like, whoa, okay, because they want to pay for their printouts or whatever, right. And I'm like, okay, like they pull out a big stack of bills, and I'm like,
yep, that's because they don't have a bank account.
Interesting.
They go to a check cashing place and they lose like 10 to 15% because they don't have a bank, but they don't care because they're stupid.
But it's not going to matter because there's going to be 11 million new Democrat voters swarming the border.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's okay because we'll just print money.
Just print more money. We'll just send them more cards.
Which brings me to another talking point.
Okay.
Buy you some fucking Bitcoin.
I can't afford a Bitcoin right now, Alan.
You can afford a Bitcoin.
How much is one Bitcoin?
One Bitcoin is like more than my car.
It doesn't matter what the price of one Bitcoin because it's divisible by 100 million.
Okay.
$1 is 2,000 Satoshis. You can start buying Bitcoin with $20.
Doesn't he fight Pikachu?
Wait a minute. Wait.
What?
A Bitcoin is called a Satoshi?
No. A Bitcoin is a Bitcoin. A fraction of a Bitcoin is a Satoshi. There are 100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin.
Alan's
Okay.
just making shit up now.
No. The Satoshi's named after the guy that invented Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakatomi.
So how much does $1 buy of
2000? I can tell you exactly. Hang on.
no, it's okay. Just estimate.
No, I want to tell you exactly.
You asked for this, Brita.
Current $1 is currently worth 3,337 Satoshis.
Okay. And who do I buy that from?
So it's three.
Is there like the Bitcoin
Satoshis.
website where I go and I put $1 in and they give me the
lots
Bitcoins?
of places you can buy Bitcoin now. You can buy the Square Cash app. You can buy Bitcoin.
Okay.
PayPal. You can buy Bitcoin.
Can I mine Bitcoin?
You can if you have free electricity. If you don't have free electricity, it will cost you more in electricity than a Bitcoin's worth. So I don't recommend it.
Okay.
My
neighbor has an outside outlet.
There's lots of different places you can. There's Gemini. There's Coinbase. There's Swan. There's all kinds of places you can buy Bitcoin. So the thing about it is that your cash is losing value. It lost value. It lost 25% of its value this year because of the government stimulus, the trillions of dollars of COVID stimulus.
And it's only going to lose more.
It'll lose 15 to 25% a year for the next 5 or 10 years. That means if you have cash sitting in a savings account, in 3 years, it'll buy half as much as it can buy now. So
my plan doesn't seem as bad anymore.
Buy some Bitcoin, or invest in assets that are priced like I think the copper. So anything made out of copper is going up like crazy.
Brass.
That's what I was just going to say. If you can find ammo at a good price, good luck. But if you have a stash of ammo, you'd be shocked at how much the price of ammo is going to go up in the next 5 to 10 years. Yep. Gold and silver will go up, although they won't go up as much as Bitcoin. See, the thing about Bitcoin is, and I'm going to get on a rant here, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to rant.
Okay.
The thing about Bitcoin is it is an engineered financial network. It is a distributed, engineered financial network that cannot be controlled by anyone and cannot be destroyed by anyone. So the federal, say you got a pile of gold sitting in the vault, the government can come and say, we're taking that. They can't do that with the Bitcoin because nobody controls it.
Well, you do know that Jane Yellen, President Biden's Treasury Secretary, she is making a point to go after Bitcoin.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
She's yapping her mouth. She's not going to do anything.
Okay.
You know why she's not going to do anything?
Why?
Because trillion-dollar institutions are buying Bitcoin like crazy, and they're not going to give that shit up. BlackRock is going.
Janet Yellen suggests curtailing cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, saying they are mainly used for illegal financing.
You know what else? You know what else is mainly used for illegal financing?
Cash.
The U.S. dollar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
and more so
I know that, and you know that.
But
however,
it doesn't.
She's actually wrong. It's not mainly used for that.
But it doesn't matter, Alan. It
doesn't matter. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
It's making the fucking people believe
it won't matter.
That's what it is.
It won't matter. Who's in charge of the government? Janet Yellen's not in charge of the government. Goldman Sachs is in charge of the fucking government.
Okay.
BlackRock is in charge of the government. They're buying Bitcoin like crazy. They are not going to give it up. So trust me,
no, but they can make it difficult for your average person to own Bitcoin so that only the corporations get it, which in turn, what is the lesson freaking out about? Oh, the corporations.
Here's the problem, Jay. The U.S. government, Janet Yellen herself, in 2014 said Bitcoin can't be controlled because nobody owns it and nobody controls it. It's a worldwide thing. It's distributed. There's no place that the federal government can go to and say and make Bitcoin do something. It doesn't exist. It's international. It's global. It's universal.
They can just make it illegal.
Doesn't matter. They can make it illegal in the U.S. It doesn't make it illegal anywhere else.
Right.
Okay.
But if you own it
if it's like illegal to own it, like,
how do they know?
What do you do with it?
Go somewhere else.
Okay. You go somewhere else, but if you live here in the U.S. and you're a middle class person,
right,
you need to be able to purchase something with it.
Okay.
How do you do that if it's illegal?
Go somewhere else.
How do I buy a car somewhere else?
You don't.
How do I pay my gas bill somewhere else?
You don't buy a car with Bitcoin.
What do you buy with Bitcoin?
You buy a Bitcoin. You buy Bitcoin and you keep it forever. It's not something you spend.
Well, then who cares?
It doesn't matter then.
Who cares?
It's like a block of Manhattan real estate. If your grandfather bought a block of Manhattan real estate, would they ever sell it? Fuck no. They would never sell it.
Okay, so it's what?
It's an asset.
I understand where Alan's coming from. I
get it. There's whatever.
It
I guess
sounds.
it sounds. To me, it's like if you have a thing that like it's a currency, then what are you buying with it? Because
it's not a currency. If it's the IRS says it's an asset. It's not a currency.
I'm too poor to own any of it, so
I know. There you go. I could have 2,000 Satoshis, and yay for me.
I might have 10,000.
Maybe I'll splurge and I'll spend a 20, and I'll buy 60 Satoshis or something.
So let's see.
I'm putting all of my money into companies like Federal and Sqrpt.
I think I'm going to stuff it all in my mattress at this point.
Oh, be careful! It's not one of the My Pillow things because they're evil.
I do not have a My Pillow, but
I don't have a My Pillow either.
I don't think the My Pillow guy is going to be okay.
Yeah, I know.
I kind of want one now.
It's
me too. Actually,
it is so ridiculous. It is so, because of the politician you support, we're going to destroy you. And nobody stops and says, hey, maybe this is contributing to the sorry state of both American politics and just discourse in general.
Absolutely. Also, my question is like, if sexual orientation is a protected category, why is political orientation not?
Because it isn't.
Yep. And all of these places with their diversity.
I mean, it's like you're allowed to be free. You're allowed to have your freedom of thought, you're allowed to have not anymore, apparently.
When you see like a college admission brochure, there's going to be numerous different, there's going to be someone in a wheelchair, an Asian, Hispanic, Black, female, male, gay, whatever. That's wonderful. I guarantee you there will not be a conservative in that group.
No, because
they don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
Everyone having the same political view is a feature for them and not a bug.
Yep.
And yet the words echo chamber or circle jerk never enter their lexicon. Go figure.
Oh, speaking of
that's the mindset of someone who thinks they will rule you.
Speaking of that, there was an excellent movie that was released.
Oh yeah.
By
talk about that.
Who did the movie? Shit. It's what's his name's thing? God damn it.
That guy always wears a shirt.
Keep going, Alan. Talk about the movie.
Blah 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 blah.
Roberto Rodriguez.
Daily Wire.
Daily Wire. Yeah.
Run, hide, fight.
Released
by the Daily Wire, and I I don't see the eye to eye on what's the guy's name? I'm drawing a blank.
Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
I don't see eye to eye.
I was right.
Yeah, I don't see eye to eye on a lot of shit Ben Shapiro says. I think, we don't agree on a lot of stuff, but what he said about this was really great. And he said that, they're going to do more of these. And it's not, like a lot of leftist movies, you see the skew in Rotten Tomatoes reviews.
Yes.
The critics are at 98% and the audience is at 13, or it's reversed,
Yeah.
And the movies the critics love, nobody likes. And, it's always because there's like a political message or it's a meaningful movie or something.
Or child pornography.
Right. So the Daily Wire released this movie and they did it. It is, there is not an overtly conservative slant. There is not an overtly religious slant to it. There is not the only overt slant to it is don't fucking cower and hide. Fight for your life. That's the slant.
Okay.
But what he said about this was that, and I thought it was fantastic, is they're going to produce movies and TV shows that appeal to a younger audience, and they're going to be violent sometimes, and they're going to be, but they're not going to be preachy.
Thank God.
So they're not.
I think we're all tired of preachy.
They're not going to be. They're not going to be preachy conservative. They're not going to be preachy liberal. They're just going to be hopefully good movies.
Yeah.
But where are we going to get The Day After Tomorrow Part 2? Where they tell us the whole world is going to be underwater by 2012.
Yeah.
That can't win.
I really like the movie. In fact, from the opening scene, the first minute of the movie, I was like, I'm going to like this movie. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but right from the start. And these, and I mentioned this when I talked about it on the Facebook page, so many movies you watch where you go, that was dumb. Why did they do that? Nobody would do that. At no point in this movie did I say that. This movie is like, they did everything. It's a horrible event, but the people acted how people would act. Nobody did something stupid just for dramatic effect. Nobody tripped and fell for no goddamn reason, just for dramatic effect. Nobody
went into the basement wearing pearls, carrying a candelabra.
Right. Nobody did anything stupid just for dramatic effect. It was fantastic. I'd give the movie 1,000 out of 100. It is.
Wow.
I don't know. Have either of y'all seen it yet? Or
not yet.
I have not.
See it.
Okay, we'll watch it this weekend.
See it.
Oh no, we lost Jay.
Oh, sorry.
I can still hear him.
I get the audio back. Hold on.
I can't.
Yeah.
We need a fail. We need a fail
whale
for
now.
today.
Oh God. Hold on.
Anyway,
9:03.
I highly recommend that movie. It is fantastic.
You know what time it is, right?
It's cat food time.
It's tide time.
I don't know.
They're down in the basement. They don't.
I don't know what they're doing.
They're
it's time for show and tell.
Show and tell. Oh my God!
There we go. Oh, hold on.
Jay,
all right.
Did you bring a show and tell item?
I always have a show and tell item because I am a super dork. I have my little.
What do you got?
My tombstone from
BattleBots.
BattleBots. I am a dork, so I have a little model of Tombstone because he's my favorite. Because he's a giant lawn.
Look how cute it is.
He's a giant lawnmower that kills other robots.
Hold it up to the camera.
That is super dorky.
Oh God, yes, this is wicked dorky. MDev is gonna shit little baby birds when he sees this. I hope you have your own tombstone. MDev, I have. Hold on. I also have Bite Force.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And if I go into my this is actually his older configuration where he was a grappler bot and not a vertical spinner.
Sir.
Yeah, in case any of you doubted how giant a dork I was.
That's
wow.
adorable.
So that's my
If
little show.
you're listening to this on the audio only version, you need to go
find the video because
Really
it's me
cute.
dorking
Holy.
about robot violence.
Okay.
So I wish I knew anything about engineering because I would love to actually have a battle bot, but I can barely run a lawnmower for crying out loud.
Oh man, I
lawnmower is a good start.
I feel like my show and tell is kind of anticlimactic lately.
Ah.
I could show my fingernail that hasn't grown back yet.
What's your show and tell, Brita?
I have a knife.
Hey,
we like knives.
That a really nice person gave to me once upon a time. And I don't know. Anyway, Columbia River Knife and Tool is one of my favorite knife.
His knife is good.
Yeah.
Sqrpt is awesome. They make great stuff.
I love their knives. And this is kind of like a knife that you would not carry. But it is a thing of beauty. Wait, where's my camera? Damn it. So there you go.
That's like a steampunk knife.
It is very steampunk. Oh God. Okay. Yeah, it's got the
here.
Cool.
Let me help you with the.
Oh, geez.
There we go.
Oh, thanks, Alan. So I'm doing the thing. The makeup vloggers do this all the time when they show like the newest makeup palette or whatever. They put their hand behind so like there's no focus issues. I don't know. Does it help? I don't know. Anyway, so it's a very beautiful knife.
It is.
And it has this part right here is the mechanism that opens the knife. It's got a clip, obviously, but who would carry this ever? It's so beautiful, and the design of it is so unique. You actually use the little wheel part.
Oh, cool.
To open it.
That is really, really cool.
It is very beautiful. And I love it very much. But I mean, I love that rainbow thing and the dude that, but it's definitely not like a easy open.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just going to.
It's not for boxes and such.
No. It's for it might be a good dress knife, right?
Yeah. Fancy.
It's a barbecue knife.
Barbecue knife.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I like to tell everybody I have not cut myself on this one yet. Yay! Well, I mean,
very nice.
Hasn't been christened yet. So anyway, that's my knife, and I think it is called a snap fire. So if you're interested in purchasing one, it is called a Columbia River snap fire.
Alan?
There you go. Alan, what's your thing?
I don't really have a thing. I'm looking around at my desk going, what do I have? Oh, well, I do have this.
What?
And this is a first for me. I've never had one of these, but it just came in the mail today.
So it was mailed 18 years ago.
Yeah. It is. Does everybody know what that is?
That's a Timney trigger.
Oh.
Yes.
I know what I can name that tune in 3 notes.
It is a Timney trigger for an AR.
Cool.
And I've never had anything but the standard, parts kit triggers.
Okay.
But I have an AR with a long heavy barrel, suppressor on it, and a decent scope. So I thought, hey, why don't I get a nice trigger?
What makes it different?
Well, for one thing, it's a drop-in. It's a drop-in thing. So instead of all the trigger parts and springs and hammer and stuff, you just drop this whole thing into the lower. It's also engineered like super close tolerances. That there's no slack at all on the. I don't even know if I can work it. Yeah. There we go. So there's no trigger slack at all, and it's got like a 4-pound brake. It's not one of their most expensive triggers, but it's a,
So does it come apart at all, or is
no,
it
doesn't. This is it. It drops
a unit?
in.
Okay.
It drops in just like this. It's the hammer, it's the trigger, it's the springs, it's everything all in one piece. So
we lost Jay, by the way.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, he pulled his plug out or something. I don't know. We'll see if we get him back. We're almost done anyway, but anyway, that's their show and tell. Timmy Trigger. So,
thank you for bringing your show and tell. I know it's dorky, but we have video, so we can show things. I mean, people want to see stuff.
I'll try to have a better.
No, that's cool. I learned something. I mean, I'm sure no one else who watches this show.
Jay's back.
Good. No one else needed the Timney Trigger lesson like I did, because
I did hear that. I could hear you guys. I just couldn't.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you're back.
Else. So I'm glad to be back. So I'm a huge fan of Timney. So
it's not, like I said, it's not their super fancy. It's just a single stage trigger.
Their crappy triggers are still pretty damn awesome.
It's already 1,000 times better than the one that comes with the parts kit. So,
and they're so easy, even I can install one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's the other reason. Everybody that's built an AR, the freaking triggers, so much of a pain in the ass to get those things in. That thing you just drop in, stick the pins in, twirl a few set screws, and you're done.
Especially when you put the spring in backwards. And you go click, and it goes clunk.
Click, clunk.
Yeah. Now you got to drive everything out.
Or you get one like I had once where the trigger it's got the 2-stage catch on it, right? So it's semi-auto only, except I had one that wasn't.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You don't have a dog, do you, Alan?
Nope.
You won't for much longer.
Long ago and far away, I had a mechanical failure that has since been corrected. But and that's a problem with ARs. You can actually, that can happen. So yeah, Timney Trigger fixes that.
More show and tell next week.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, why not?
I'll try to do better.
I'll try not to show like boring art things or.
Oh, you had a cool knife. I had a door. It wasn't even a BattleBot. It's like a little toy rope.
No, I think that's cool.
It's like a, what are those? It's like an action figure of a BattleBot.
That's exactly what it is. It's like an action figure. It's a doll. It's a BattleBot
That's cute,
doll.
though.
That's what I have.
I have. You know what though? I should have done this. I should have gone with this as my
your shirt. You mean?
No, although it is a cool shirt. There's my action figure.
It's a Son of Man by Magritte.
It's a Magritte. It's a Magritte.
Yeah. That's pretty art nerdy though.
I know.
Somewhere I have, what the hell is his name? The George's father on Seinfeld, Costanza.
What is George's father's name?
Yeah, I'm like drawing Frank.
Is it?
I think.
Okay. Anyway,
I have a bobblehead of him.
No.
It was a minor league ball game giveaway where they had a bunch of this bobblehead. So yeah,
so random.
Like exactly. We're like we went quite a few times because the games they're like a Class A, whatever the
We
next
have one of those too here.
Exactly.
They're so much fun.
It's awesome. The
Yes.
games they're dirt cheap. The food is affordable.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to. I don't have to drive in a friggin' DC.
And you're right there on the.
game.
You're right there on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
And
I don't even like baseball really, and I like to go.
The stadium's like 20 minutes from here. It's super easy to get to, and we happened to go one night. We first got first moved down here, and it was everyone gets a Seinfeld bobblehead night.
Nice.
Ours was the dad from Seinfeld. But anyway, yeah.
Nice.
They will make a bobblehead of pretty much anything. Is my point.
Yeah. Yeah, we have one of those, and they always do fireworks every night. Like they have the game, and special, things, and it's fun. I recommend it. It's a good night out.
And it's not expensive.
No,
it is. I've been to a few.
You get the $1 hot dog and the $1 beer.
I've been to a few AAA games. I've been to a few major league games, and the minor league games were always more entertaining.
Way more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? Remember replacement football?
No.
Wow.
But
that's going back a ways out.
Remember the NFL strike and remember the replacements?
NFL strike?
Yeah, they had the replacements, and the play was definitely not up to NFL standards, but it was so goddamn entertaining because they did crazy shit, and they did, NFL games are boring by comparison because, it's like flump, 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 and then they moved it a yard. Okay.
Yeah.
The kick. But the replacement games they were like all over the damn place. You never knew what was going to happen. That's the only time I actually enjoyed watching a football game. So what year was that? Now I got
I know the baseball strike was 94.
What were they striking about? Like not enough millions of dollars?
They weren't paid enough for playing a child's game.
Oh, okay. Right.
That's what it was about. The 1987 season.
Was Breed even born yet?
What?
Yeah, she was.
87. Yeah, I was alive.
But that was a great year for football, man. That was anyway.
That was after the Super Bowl shuffle. I do remember that.
Yep.
That was the Bears, right?
The Bears. The Bears.
Did I ever tell you the story about the Bears and me?
No. This is
again pretty random. I don't know. My dad liked to watch football, and because my father controlled the remote control,
as he should have,
and we have one TV in the house, we all watch football. I'm just,
it shows your age.
What?
That you were not the remote control.
Oh.
Because I was the remote control. Change the channel.
I remember changing the channel.
Turn it up.
I do remember. And I also remember having like the first cable box that was like had a wire.
Yes. And
right.
You had 15 channels.
And it was like a
like a push button switch.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember that. But anyway, so my dad had control of the remote control, and we all watched football on Sunday. And so for some reason, like in 5th grade, I really got into the Chicago Bears, and I think it was that year that they were so big. I think it was 85, right?
It was the year they destroyed the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you for bringing up that painful memory.
And I was obsessed in like 5th grade with the Chicago Bears. I don't know why, but there was a thing where
Jim McMahon. That's why.
Actually, I liked the Refrigerator Perry, and I just loved him. And so there was this thing where if you collected enough box tops from Kraft Macaroni and Cheese, you could send them away and get a free poster of the Refrigerator Perry guy. And so this girl ate all the macaroni and cheese And I got my poster.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is that what's up on the wall behind you?
No. That's Picasso.
That's the fridge's mother.
That's Picasso up there. But yeah, weird. Once upon a time, I like
Portrait
sports.
of the refrigerator as a young man.
Yeah. Whatever happened to him? Is he dead?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll look it up after. I don't want to be sad on the show. But I don't know. I just thought he was great. So there's the Brita story of the day.
No, he's still alive. He's 58.
He is not 50 something.
Yeah, he's 58.
No.
He was born, it says William Perry, nicknamed the refrigerator.
Okay.
Born December 16th, 1962. So he's like
almost 60.
That doesn't make sense.
He's like a year older than me.
So if I was in 5th grade, I was like, what, 12? And he was 24?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. That's weird. I thought he was much older.
Nah. Well, he played for how long? Not
Yeah.
Why are we talking about this? I'm sorry I brought it up.
Yeah.
You and your William Perry obsession.
I'm sorry. I just random.
Trivia note, his Super Bowl ring size is the largest of any professional football player in the history of the event. Ring size is 25, while the ring size for the average adult male is between 10 and 12. He played for 10 years for the NFL.
Great. Now I have small hands. Thanks, Alan.
Hey.
I think you're normal, Jay. Wow, he is alive.
Yeah. I hope he slimmed down. I really do. I hope he slimmed down some.
Big boy.
Because you know what he's ripe for if he didn't? Diabetes.
COVID also.
Well, and that too, yes. Although that's no longer an issue. Because the World Health Organization went, oopsie.
Oh, we've been doing it wrong.
Over-reporting the cases. And more big news. COVID cases have peaked in the United States. Imagine that. One day after Joe Biden is inaugurated. It's
a miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally 1 hour after Biden's inauguration, the World Health Organization posted that the PCR test had too many iterations and they need to crank it back down, and that it was too many false positives and all this other crap. And and now they're saying that if you don't have symptoms, you probably can't transmit to anybody else. And just
so why am I wearing a mask sitting behind plexiglass all day for 8 hours? Why?
Why are our cities shut down? Exactly. Fuck you, Trump. That's why.
Yep. Because Orange Man bad.
Yep.
In order to get rid of Orange Man, we had to destroy millions of people.
Yep. That's why.
I literally I'm sitting behind plexiglass wearing a mask.
Yep.
All day long when nobody's around me.
Yep.
Because I need a paycheck.
They want you to wear masks in your own home.
You know what? They're gonna have to come and tell me that, because
one thing I'm surprised at is one thing I'm actually surprised at is how the government is so behind everybody needs to wear a mask, because
it's weird. It's a weird thing, right?
Well, it absolutely ruins facial recognition.
Yeah.
Except they've got to change the algorithm now so that all of those evil right-wingers covering their faces can still be recognized.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
The mask still look. If my iPhone doesn't work with a mask, then the facial recognition doesn't work.
That is so annoying, by the way.
Yes. Especially when you have facial recognition runs your passwords. So you have to like take your mask off because you can't remember the fucking thing.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what the password.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just have to take the mask off.
But mark my words, they're using it to fine tune the facial recognition. They're not going to tell you.
Well, it's also like, the Star of David, in the Jewish ghettos.
There's a certain amount of we're making people do this because we can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're seeing
it is. The mask is the 2 + 2 = 5.
Yeah. And because they tried to go beyond that. They tried really you should have goggles and a face mask and a shield and a welding helmet and a fucking giant wool blanket over your body. And they were like, okay, mask. Yeah, mask is good.
Did you see the video of the government guy from Canada? Canada's like in crazy lockdowns.
Right.
Like insane. They have like curfews and lockdowns, and they're arresting people for
the
all kinds
UK
of
is doing the
shit.
same thing.
Then but the government's exempt, and somebody was like it was like a press conference or something, and somebody asked, well, how can you order everybody, curfew and lockdowns and everything like that, but you exempt government employees? And the guy's like, well, why wouldn't we exempt government employees?
Yep.
I mean, he was just like, was just like totally droll, and like he didn't even understand the concept of why you would have government employees follow the same law as everyone else. Like it was a complete mystery to him. Why are you even asking this question?
Joe Biden signed an executive order requiring masks on federal property, and then went and gave a speech at the Lincoln Memorial with no mask on.
Yep.
Yeah, he's special.
Because some animals are more equal than others.
That's right.
Everyone refers to 1984 as like, ooh, big scary animal farm.
Remember during the campaign? Remember during the campaign when crazy old Joe would toddle out to the microphone, and he'd have his mask on that he put on like behind the curtain, and he'd toddle up to the microphone, and maybe he'd take his mask off, and they made such a production that differentiating crazy Uncle Joe because he wore a mask, unlike Orange Man Bad, who didn't wear a mask, and how awful it was, and yet here he is at his own party not wearing a mask.
Yep.
Fuck you.
I think my favorite mask picture were the elementary school kids playing musical instruments with holes cut out in the masks so they could play the instruments.
Did you see the one?
There's like a framework of a mask. The whole mouth is exposed. The whole nose is exposed. But they've got that mask on. Oh, look, I've got a mask.
Yeah.
It's like it's a fucking whoopee at that point.
Yeah.
You're now the kid from Mr. Mom with your whoopee. I have my mask. Look, it protects me. Ooh, there's no tigers in my house.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what to say.
So, but it'll be done in a month because Joe Biden, because Orange Man is gone.
When Barack Obama got elected, the seas will stop rising.
Receded,
and the polar caps.
The healing begins. Yeah.
And now Joe Biden is curing COVID. So
yes.
I love. Here's the thing. They keep on saying, oh, finally, we're going to have a president who has a COVID plan and is finally doing something about COVID. I'm like, you mean like the vaccine that Trump pushed through? Like the fucking vaccine?
Yeah. That he pushed the red tape aside so it could get through.
People.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
not doing it either.
I'm still not doing I'll do the other vaccine, but I'm not doing the one that does the funky DNA shit. The mRNA. I'm not doing that. People are dropping dead from that shit, and I'm allergic to all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna do a hard pass on that.
Well, one of my employees at the library is getting it this week, and I will report back.
Good luck. I'll hold out for that.
I'm worried for her. She's a library page, and she is like 83 years old. God love her. And she has like congestive heart failure and she is just plugging along. And she called me this week and she said, I'm scheduled to get my vaccine this week. And, I'll call you if anything happens. And so far, I have not gotten in touch. Well, I mean, like if she gets sick or can't come to work or whatever, I told her to just call me on my phone. And I haven't gotten a message. So she's okay so far.
Good luck to her.
Apparently.
I'm
nervous for her.
There's been lots of countries and lots of cities that have stopped passing out the vaccine because of the adverse reactions. Was it Iceland or something? They did it.
I think it was Denmark.
Okay. So, but yeah, they've just got too many adverse reactions to it.
Yeah.
Wasn't Denmark one of the countries that Bernie Sanders was like holding up like, oh, look how wonderful they are.
Yeah, that's Scandinavian socialism shit they have.
Yeah, where they have a homogeneous population.
Yeah. Well, they used to. Now they're half Muslim.
Yeah. New Zealand has dealt with the coronavirus because they're a fucking island.
I know. How nice for them.
They're an island with hardly anybody on it.
They're a small island with a small population.
Meanwhile, we have a caravan of 8,000 Hondurans
headed our way,
racing towards our border to.
They're not in a caravan. It's a Grand Voyager. Thank you very much. Car nerd.
It's a power wagon, Jay. Power wagon.
We all know it's a white Ford Econoline.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, God.
With a ladder on top.
And
lots of paint buckets on the inside for people to sit on.
Oh God. And the little lock on the back that shows it's for human trafficking. It's like, no, it shows that it secures the stuff that's inside your van. Yeah. That was the big thing. That and the zip ties on the windshield wipers. I'm like, you know how I know that's an urban legend? Because 99.999999999% of people would never notice a fucking zip tie on their windshield wipers with the wipers tied together going across the windshield. They wouldn't notice. You mean to tell me you expect me to believe that people will notice a fucking little plastic zip tie on your windshield wiper? They don't notice when the entire car is covered in snow. They're not going to notice a fucking zip tie. Oh, it's so that when you see it, you stop and get out of your car to get rid of it, and then they kidnap you. I'm like, no, because nobody would notice it.
No.
They could be carving a groove into your windshield. And people would be like, you assume a level of attention that is clearly not there.
For the most part, yeah.
Ooh, look. It's human trafficking. No, that's a van with ladders and paint in it. Well, calm down, Karen.
We're almost 30 minutes over.
We should end.
It's like a double show. We should just break it in half and put the rest up next week.
Nope.
Nope, this is your bonus squirrel. Because it's Squirrel Appreciation Day.
There you go.
It's episode 394, part 1.
We'll continue ranting next week. And we'll have more show and tell next week.
Maybe we will.
We will.
Of course, the big show and tell is just our fine selves.
I thought it was funny. Somebody on one of the social media said, "Oh my God, you guys don't look anything like what I thought you looked like. It's so disconcerting." I was like,
Jay doesn't have horns. Yes.
What do you think we looked like? I'd love to know. First of all, I'd love to know that. Secondly, our pictures are all over Facebook.
They're tied to our name.
Well, we actually have.
Just click on the thing. You can see my picture.
We actually have a surprising to me, number of listeners who are not on Facebook. And I've had people mention that they're happy we have these other social media platforms now because they've never been on Facebook or they dumped it 5 years ago or whatever.
Well, if you are one of the people out there that does not have Facebook or could not see this, just be aware I am hideously ugly. So be prepared for that.
No, we're the handsomest podcast, I think.
I think we are.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I bring it down.
I don't even have a beard.
You need to work on that.
I know. I will. I promise.
We need a fake beard.
I know.
All you gotta
Maybe that'll be next week.
Or at least a Snidely Whiplash mustache, a big fancy.
Should I draw one on or should I get one?
I see Brita as more of the Fu Manchu, with the little
Really?
wispy,
Yeah,
real thin,
little thin and a little thin chin thing that hangs down.
just a little dot.
Yeah,
Just right there, just a dot.
Soul patch.
yeah.
There you go.
That's very Oriental.
That's cultural appropriation. Thank you. Isn't Oriental racist?
Yes.
It's like everything is racist.
I have no idea, but we're sitting here talking about Fu Manchu mustaches. So
yeah. But
an Irish girl with a Fu Manchu mustache. So.
Joe Biden says you can't walk into a Quickie Mart without an Indian accent. That's totally fine. Nobody ever brings that up. Nobody ever brings that up. Barack Obama, well, he's actually one of the clean ones.
I know.
Totally fine. But
what does he think of Kamala, do you think? Joe Biden doesn't think anymore. Who am I kidding?
Joe Biden's going, oh, that nice cleaning lady's staying around.
Who let the help in?
Yeah.
It's going to be
I'm sorry.
It's going to be an interesting 4 years.
At this point, he's probably like, oh, Jill colored her hair. I'm sorry. Dr. Jill colored her hair.
Oh, wait. Mike has a joke.
Uh-oh.
Come here, Mike. No, just come over here so they can hear you. He's not getting on camera.
Ready?
Go.
A dementia patient and a hooker walk into a bar. No, wait, that's the inauguration.
Ooh, oh. I heard in a similar vein, somewhere in Arkansas.
The great thing about it is I heard it at the Geauga County Recorder's Office.
Did you hear that? He heard it at the recorder's office.
Yeah,
whoa.
one of the recorder employees was telling
Nice.
That's funny.
Wow. What was it? Somewhere in Arkansas, there's a baby whose mom is a stripper, his dad is a crackhead, and his grandfather just got sworn in as the 46th president.
Yeah.
What a world.
Yeah.
And the best part is you can fact check that all you want, bitches.
True.
It is absolutely true.
And it's going to be like, Hunter Biden is not a crackhead. He prefers rock cocaine. Or crystal cocaine, whatever the fuck, the kind you snort, but the kind you put in it. Although he does like a crack pipe. So we
have seen the photograph together.
I think he likes it all, really.
I'm like, that's a good way to burn your house down. Just like a crock pot, Hunter Biden.
Oh my God.
I think Peter's face, she's like, oh God, he worked a crock pot joke in.
So what happened?
Lord.
Okay, so God, we are going so long on this show.
I know.
So what happens? Because there's an active case against Hunter Biden. The Justice Department has an active case there.
For how much longer, though?
Investigation. But let's just imagine, if we can, imagine that this becomes an actual case. And the president of the United States is a material witness to Hunter Biden's trial.
Oh, God.
It would be very interesting to see if the case goes away and by some miracle they can't steal the 2022 election and the Republicans take the House and they introduce articles of impeachment.
They won't have to. Biden won't be in office by then.
He will.
No, he won't.
He's got to make it 2 years.
No, he won't. He won't make it 6 months. That's
correction. They have to pretend he's in office for 2 years. Alan.
They're
not going to let.
You had this fight last week.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll keep having the fight, but
until two years in.
Yes, until it's over.
We'll find out.
Okay.
But I'm saying
I was right about November, wasn't I?
You were right.
You were right.
I'm just
in January.
The 3 most important words.
That's right.
Anyone
you were right.
You were right.
Yep.
I take no pleasure in being right on this one, but
you were.
Yeah, you were. No doubt about it. But it is what it is. But I mean, here's the thing, though. Just look at Joe Biden. I mean, they're putting him through a hell that I would.
We gotta go.
Okay, time.
Wow.
What?
You're like, TikTok, watch the clock. We're done.
Look at my watch. Look at the time.
Yeah. All right, we'll wrap it up.
Save it for
Wrap it
next
up.
week. Next week.
Save it for next. Yeah.
We have more. There will be more shows, honest.
Well,
Maybe. Unless we get booted off.
they're not going to boot us off.
You know what?
We'll be filming each other with the handy cams.
I keep wanting to say stuff. I'm like, I keep censoring myself because I go, oh, I can't say that. I'll get kicked off of Facebook. And then I'm like,
What?
Who the fuck cares? What are they going to do? I'll get kicked off of Facebook. I don't like Facebook anyway.
We're not going to get kicked off Facebook.
Now I kind of want to get kicked off because it's like the cool thing.
Our presence is not large enough to get kicked off Facebook. They do not give a shit about us.
Damn it. We need to
Which is kind of nice, actually, like on a certain level. Like,
go
cool.
Sign up for locals. Get us above 100.
Yeah.
It's free.
And also,
well,
you know,
get us over 100. We'll have a 3-hour podcast. How's that?
No, we won't.
You're going to need a co-host for that one.
3 together, Alan. We'll just tape them together.
I'm going to need a catheter for that one.
Okay.
On that
show's over.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.